does not work. You know that, Carol. We need to get people in office who are willing to work with one another and people who uphold biblical principles. And so all 50 states, that's why I'm going to...
Let's talk about biblical principles,
Sure,
because you agree in part with Donald Trump on banning Muslims from coming into the United States. Is that fair?
Well, first of all, I don't believe in banning Muslims from coming. I think we should put a halt on immigration because our borders are broken until we have a proper system to vet people.
All immigration?
I think all immigration, but especially people coming
like
out of...
Hispanics, Muslims, everybody?
All people, but especially those coming from the Middle East right now. Carol, I'm working in Greece. We have people on the islands. As people come out of those little rubber boats, I have people there helping them.
Talking about the Syrian refugees
well, they're not just Syrian. They're Syrian, they're Iraqi, they're also Iranians, and they're also Afghans coming into Greece. And we see a lot of families, and no question they're fleeing for their life. They're wanting a better life. But we see a lot of young men who are military age by themselves coming in that way as well. And we don't know who these people are, and there needs to be some proper way to vet them. So I think we should be putting a halt on any immigration from that part of the world until our government has a system in place where we can vet them.
I do think many Americans would agree with you, but I also think that some Americans look to Canada, for example, and their warm embrace of these refugees, and they look at the way that some politicians in the United States talk about, especially people from the Middle East, and they don't think that's very Christian.
Well, I'm thinking that we have to protect American citizens, just like the school in Los Angeles. I think they did the right thing, shutting things down until they find out if there really is a threat. And
but that threat could be coming from anyone.
Well, but we know where the threats...
anything.
We know this city right here. We know what happened on 9/11. And at 9/11, we have been at war, and we have had thousands of Americans that have been killed, over 11,000. Since 9/11, and I think we should take all the precautions we can to protect our citizens. And again, I love Muslim people. I work with Muslims.
Okay, you say you, and I believe you, but there's been some heated rhetoric about Muslims in this country, and some in the Muslim community believe that kind of rhetoric is, you know, causing mosques to come under attack, and they're afraid for their own safety, some Muslims. Can you just answer, is Islam compatible with American values?
I don't think so.
But see, they would say that rhetoric like that is hurting them.
Well, you asked me a question and I answered you, but I don't go out and preach against Islam. I don't go out and preach against Muslims. I don't. And I certainly welcome them, but our Constitution, the way we treat women, the way we treat all people, Islam doesn't do that in the Sharia law.
Well, I could argue that about my own faith within Catholicism, right? I could.
Well,
let me play devil's advocate for just a little longer. Donald Trump thinks that some mosques should be shut down. Do you agree with that?
Well, I don't know. I haven't heard what Donald Trump has said. I know that in France, they have certainly shut down some mosques, mosques that were preaching hatred and violence against the people in France. So the French government has shut down some mosques. I don't know how many it is, but I know they have done it there.
Does that mean we should do it here?
We might have to at some point. I don't know. Carol, we need, our country's broken right now. Our borders are broken. We need to get it fixed. We need immigration to be fixed. We need to know who's coming into this country. We just can't open up our arms and just say, everybody come, because there are people out there that want to destroy our nation and want to destroy you and our way of life. We have a responsibility. Our government, the president, our Congress has a responsibility to protect all Americans.
Okay, and just a final question. Is there any one candidate that reflects those Christian values that you talk about?
I'm not going to support any candidates this year. I used to be a Republican. I've renounced the Republican Party. I'm an independent because I have no confidence in the Republicans or the Democrats. We need, I think, new leadership, and we need, I think,